Is it still worth moving to the UK? I've got asked this question a lot in the comment section. A lot of people come to the UK to study, to work, and they don't know if it's still a good option or not. They hear maybe that there are complexities and difficulties getting jobs or internships, or the salaries are not as high as the US. There are so many factors that people consider when moving countries. I've lived in the UK for the past 3 years. I studied here full-time, part-time. I did a master's degree. I'm now self-employed, married to a UK citizen. I visited plenty of different cities in the UK, and today I just want to share with you my honest take, backed with data and statistics, on what is it to live in the UK. So I'm going to mix my experience with the statistics and information I found on the internet so that I can give you a global vision of what it is to live in the UK. If it's suitable for you or not, that's something that you have to figure out for yourself. But today we're going to just talk about things that people usually care about, and then you can make an informed decision for yourself. So if this sounds good to you, hit the like button and let's start the video. So what is it like to live in the UK? First of all, the UK is a group of 4 countries. So you have England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. Ireland is also split in 2. Part of it is in Europe and part of it is in Great Britain, which is the United Kingdom, or the UK, to make it easy. So it really depends where you live. So different in England is different from living in Scotland or Wales or Ireland. So each one has their own upsides and downsides, depends on what you like. And that's why you need to do a little bit of research and also try to figure out what kind of vibe you prefer. Do you prefer something a little bit busier, or you prefer something a little bit quieter? Maybe you have some preferences in terms of where you're located. You want to be maybe closer to Europe, or maybe you just want something where you can practice some sort of sports. So let's say you like rugby, Wales is a good place to be. Also depends on universities, your job, what you do. So there are a lot of factors to consider, but 1, always think of what city and what country, and 2, also think of your lifestyle, which one can fit your lifestyle the best. I found out that Cardiff was the best for me because I like quiet places, but quiet places that still have things to do. I don't mind being in a smaller city because I work remotely, so I couldn't care less about being in a big city. Plus the cost of living is a little bit cheaper. So how is the quality of life in the UK? A lot of people ask if it's clean, if it's safe, and yes, I would say it's quite a clean country overall. I mean, I've been in many places in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, and the UK is definitely a clean country, I would say. Obviously, you will find a few things here and there that are not good. In bigger cities, it's more emphasized, but I would say if I have to generalize, it's a clean country. And in terms of safety, apart from big cities, the ones that have millions and millions of people, I would say it's quite a safe country. Those that were in Scotland or like myself in Wales, I rarely see or hear any big problematics. Obviously you'll find stuff, but I mean in general, coming from a country like Morocco myself, I see the noise and the fights and things and accidents all the time, whilst in Cardiff, in the UK, it's way less. But again, depends on the city. If you go to London, just expect the noise and the fights and be a little bit extra careful. But if you're in a more quieter area, usually people are less stressed, which leads to more quietness. What about the cost of living in the UK? So obviously it will depend on what city you live in and even what country. So Wales might be cheaper than England, and Wales and Scotland might be kind of the same in terms of pricing. So even in England, London usually is the most expensive one. I think in London the average for a 1-bedroom apartment is like 13 or 1400 pounds, and nothing really even special, whilst in Wales you could get it for 700, for example, or 800 or 900, and something really nice. Obviously the more bedrooms you get, the more expensive it gets, but being careful of what city is very important. So London, definitely more expensive, but usually better salaries because they know that the costs are higher of things and the salaries usually follow a little bit. But you see a lot of students, they share apartments, they share houses because the costs are just very expensive, especially when you're just starting out. Something to note is that rent prices have increased from 25 to 35% in all over the UK for the past 3 years, between 2022 and 2025. So I don't know if this is a trend that will keep going forward, or this is some sort of big inflation due to a lot of economical changes, but that's something to note. The UK is getting expensive, and not necessarily followed by better salary. So that's something people should be aware of. If you're enjoying the video so far, remember to give it a like. It does support the channel massively. And if you're interested in content about data science, data analytics in the UK, and also life tips like this, consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me massively. Thank you for doing it. What about the visas and immigration? A lot of people that come to the UK, and especially those that talk to me, usually come here to study, to find jobs, so there is an immigration process in place. So depending on whether you come as a student, if you want to do postgraduate, undergraduate, PhD, or you come here as a worker, there are different types of visas that you need to consider. And that's something that you need to do a lot of research, because here, one, it's costly, and two, the process can be very daunting depending on what type of visa you're doing. So for students, you usually pay for a student visa from abroad, and you're given, depending on how many years you're going to study. Let's say you do a 2 years master's degree, you're gonna get 2 years of your visa until you finish, and then when you graduate, they give you 2 other years of a graduate visa, which let you work, do freelance, have your own business. Basically, like, you have the full ability to do anything you want. As a student, you're limited to working only 20 hours a week legally, so you can't work more. Same for PhD. There's also the dependent visa if you're marrying someone or living with someone in a civil partnership. So there are a lot of things. It's good to do your own research. There are a lot of fees associated. You'll be paying the IHS, which is the Immigration Health Surcharge, which is basically you covering your own medical fees. And those are usually very expensive. I remember paying for over £1,000 per year. So if you get a visa for 3 years, you'll be paying over £3,000. And this doesn't even include the visa fees and all the paperwork and things like this. So that's something to consider. I'm currently working as self-employed, so I have to fill in my taxes in order to renew my visas. So there's a lot of complexity there, and in one video I can't go and cover each and everything because it will take forever. But if you're interested in one of the paths, please just leave a comment and I'll do some research and try to answer you. If it happened to me and I did it before, I'll be happy to share my experience. But if I didn't, I'll be happy to just point you to some resources where you can find the information you need. What about studies and universities? The UK is famous for good education overall. Universities like Oxford and Cambridge are still topping the best universities in the UK and in the world in some cases. So a lot of people come for that quality education, but not everyone goes to top universities. People go to other universities, like myself. I did the Cardiff University and I did well. So that it's not just a matter of getting to the best universities, it's a matter of getting good education and hopefully landing better jobs and better opportunities. So something to be aware of for people that come from abroad and that are non-Europeans or British, they will pay higher fees. So it's usually 2 to 3 times higher fees for international students compared to local British or European students. I don't know why, but it's just more expensive and something to be aware of. So tuition fees will go from £5,000 to £10,000 a year for local students, and for internationals it could go from 10 to 25,000. Depends on the degree, the city, the university. It could go even slightly higher, but this is what you see. When I studied in Cardiff Metropolitan University, I paid £15,000 for 1 year for an advanced computer science master's degree. People that are local paid only £7,000 or something like this, so it's double the price. So it's worth looking, and from my experience, the university, apart if it's one of the top 5, doesn't matter as much as all the experience that you gain along the way. And that's why I always encourage people to do some freelancing on the side so that they gain experience and they don't wait until they finish. So I can point you to a video, I'll just link it here and in the description, how you can start freelancing on Upwork and how do I get projects. Maybe you could go and try for yourself and start gaining some experience. And if you do, it's just some extra money and extra experience. What are the most in-demand jobs in the UK? A lot of people reaching out to me ask me about jobs, and a lot of people that follow me are technical people. It's data people, software engineers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI people. So there is demand, obviously. The demand is high, but the competition is high as well. So if you just look on the internet, what is really trending, you have healthcare, you have technology, engineering, finance, and education. So there is plenty of things going on. Obviously, the job market is quite tricky these days because I went through the process myself over maybe a year and a half ago, looking for a job, applied countless times and really struggled. I made some videos about LinkedIn and how to optimize and how to reach out to people, things that did help me. But I can't really tell you that the job market is great or is really bad, because it depends on your skill set, your experiences, how much you're willing to put in effort, how much you're willing to network, optimize your LinkedIn, do all these things. But if you just think everything will be easy here, then you have to rethink the whole process, because clearly from what I see, a lot of people that I know struggle to get jobs, and those that do usually are quite exceptional people that tried more than anyone else. So if you're willing to be exceptional, then not just for the UK, but anywhere in the world you'll succeed. But if you're not willing to do more, then you're gonna struggle, and that's my fair and honest advice to you. And if we look on the ONS website, we can see that clearly for the past 4 years, the job market has been declining in terms of job vacancies advertised, but what this doesn't show is that the number of contracts and freelance projects have increased massively. So yes, there is a downtrend of full-time contracts, but there is an uptrend of the part-time contract and freelancing. And that's something I covered in another video about the demand of data analysts, data scientists, data engineer, machine learning engineers, things I kind of specialize in. So if you want to go and have a look into it, I'll link it also in the description below. You'll get more information about the trends, because this doesn't give you the full picture. If you just look at this, you'd say it's really bad. But in reality, there are other options. But yeah, full-time contracts are going down recently, and I think maybe it will pick up at some point, but contracts and freelance projects are just increasing. I hope you enjoyed this video and you find it really insightful. Please leave in the comment section if you have any questions or things you want me to cover and go deeper into. I made a video a few months ago about giving some advice about the mindset you need to succeed, whether you move to the UK or generally in life. I'm just sharing things that worked for me and that didn't work for me in a very honest video I've made a few months ago. I'll link it just here for you so you can go and watch it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.